And we're streaming. All right, people. Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday, and yeah, White Chocolate just messaged me. Thank you, White Chocolate, if you're listening. Welcome to the show, people. It is Wednesday, 9:04 p.m. Central Time. Welcome to another episode of The Experience. I am Drew, and with me, as always,
It's Justin from Spinebuster Tees and SpinebusterTees.com.
all right, we got a nice little show for you tonight. I guess we can kind of get the big stuff out of the way. We usually like to begin the show with pretty much, kind of like how Cody Rhodes says it. What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about the big news, the big elephant in the room as far as WWE related. R-Truth, Ron Killings.
Oh, okay.
or unless there's something else you wanted to bring up.
No, you're already there. Let's just go.
All right, well, by all means. But yeah, Ron the Truth Killings, R-Truth, whatever you want to call him, announced on Sunday. And I have the tweet here. I can actually just read that off. He announced on Sunday, I'm sorry to inform you all, I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every one of you who was along for the ride. Thank you for all the love, support, and appreciation you have given me over the years. Thank you. It was also reported that they just aren't going to renew his contract by the time it ends, but he put released.
He didn't say it correctly.
Okay, then
he's not being released. His contract's not being renewed. Same thing for Carlito. His contract is not being renewed.
And
same thing for Valhalla. Contract not being renewed. Those are two big differences.
And then you brought up Carlito. I guess I'll bring up his tweet. He said, "My contract is up in 2 weeks. It will not be renewed. On top of that, WWE is demanding I pay back the money they paid me for apparently stealing money from the company. I've had my lawyers look into it, and after reviewing my footage on Netflix for the past months, they suggested I pay them back the money. All jokes aside, gracias WWE, and especially the WWE Universe. Los quiero mucho. Yes, I'll reappear in another 13 years. Dios me los bendiga." Carlito, of course, ending on a joke, in good spirit. But yeah, for R-Truth. So, shocking.
Are you gonna read Sarah Logan's tweet?
I don't believe I have her tweet. Let me pull that up.
Oh.
Sarah Logan, who's also
it's fucking long, so I don't know if you want to do the whole one, but yeah.
I know Wrestling Soup talked about it. Let me pull up the tweet.
I have it here if you want me to read it.
Oh yeah, go for it.
She says, "I come to you with tears in my eyes, cause our time has come to a sudden end. WWE informed me yesterday they are letting my contract expire. To be completely honest, my ego I can't help but be damaged. You always assume that when you end a lifelong career, there's going to be a grand exit. But here I am, using the Notes app on my phone, typing up a goodbye letter to an entity that will forget I was even there. I truly take no offense to this. My career as it was is getting I don't know how to say this word. A super, I can't say that word. I don't know what that word is, but right. By my vacation, and it is all a divine timeline that I trust deeply. I definitely miss you, but know I'll be taken care of by my wonderful husband, by the land you provided for me alongside the children I made along the way. I'm going to take off the weight of being a superstar and let my sour being just Sarah." She also want to say that she's been growing on me, and it's time that I let her fully cultivate. I love all the people you brought into my life, but my social media page won't be about you anymore. It will share only the parts of me that I wish, and none that will be wrestling. I'm more of a clean break kind of girl, and the others to me will be taking my full attention. With all my love, Sarah. That was a long one there, but yeah, I think we had to be fair and cover all three of those posts.
Right. But let's start with R-Truth. Ron Killings, R-Truth, whatever you choose to call him, returned to WWE back in '08. He was in WWF previously as K-Quick, which was in '99. He came to WWF initially like in '99, 2000, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then he left, and then went to became the first ever black NWA World Champion. Was in TNA for a bit with was it 3 Live Crew, which is where he actually worked on the song that he had in WWE, which is "What's Up," which had vastly different lyrics, and then of course came to WWE in '08. They tried to push him as more of a serious wrestler, didn't really pan out that well. And then eventually he became, more of a comedy wrestler, and he had that short heel run where he was feuding with Cena, which was kind of funny. And then he did the little Jimmy stuff, and one of the biggest highlights of his career was him and Miz main evented Madison Square Garden against The Rock and John Cena.
Survivor Series, yeah.
Survivor Series in 2011 for the last time ever, quote unquote. Or I don't know how they phrase it, but
No was never before, never again.
Which was a bunch of bullshit. But yeah, R-Truth, again, most loved man in professional wrestling. I don't really think you're gonna find anyone that has anything negative to say about Ron Killings, the man. Very loved in the back. You always heard people say nothing but nice things about him. It's almost as if Santa Claus just got let go from his show. And I know, yeah, his contract didn't get renewed, but I'm just trying to make a point. But definitely shocking, because you would have figured he'd be a lifer. Like, he'd be someone that they would keep on, until pretty much he's no longer with this earth. And granted, I'm just going to say it right off the bat, I think they will bring him back under, like, a Legends deal. Like, there's no doubt about that. They're going to bring him back under a Legends deal, maybe as an ambassador. So I don't think there's really any worry that R-Truth is officially gone from WWE. He'll be back.
How soon would you imagine him coming back under Legends deal?
I'm gonna say Ron. I say Ron like I know him. Ron Killings. I know he does his music, so I think he's gonna want to work on his music for the time being. I would say no later than before the end of the year. I think they'll bring him back as soon as they get the opportunity to bring him back. So that's number one. People are just like, again, people get pissed off nowadays when WWE releases anyone. I mean, they got mad when they released that group of people back in April. And again, we say it, we don't like anyone to lose their jobs, but at the end of the day, it's a business. For someone like Ron Killings, it makes sense why people are mad the way they are, because I forgot someone said it. It's like it's almost like they got rid of Santa Claus. So, but yeah, again, just the overreaction from some people saying fuck WWE, fuck TKO, fuck Triple H, blah blah blah. I'm never gonna watch this show again, and then next month they're already gonna forget about it. But how do you feel about Ron Killings' contract not getting renewed?
I'll say this. Maybe Vince wasn't so bad after all.
Oh God.
He wouldn't, because he wouldn't let go Ron Killings, right? He would have been there for life. I'm not declaring for Vince McMahon to be back. I'm just saying that in jest, but look, I've been saying this for a while, and I've been saying this more about NXT, that WWE is going through a youth movement, but it seems like it's going that way through the main roster now. They're going through a youth movement. I wouldn't be surprised, like guys like Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, or guys like that don't make it by the end of the year. I don't want to see that happen. But that could happen. Sheamus, even though I know he just like resigned, whatever, right? But like this is a possibility that we need to start thinking about. Kofi Kingston, guys like that. Don't want to see it happen, but you know, TKO is a different company now. It's a different company now, and we gotta face the facts that this could be a realistic, scenario here. You know, with R-Truth leaving though, I mean, it sucks, but outside of comedy relief, what was he really doing on the show? Really nothing, right? Not to say that I'm like, oh man, they should have let him go, but at the end of the day, like he was there as comedic relief. You need that on a wrestling show, right? But maybe they're thinking they can use someone else as that comedic relief now. Whose that is, I don't know. Maybe a Chelsea Green, I don't know. But that's just the first thing that came to mind. But you know, to me, it's like I understand, but I don't understand. Someone like Ron Killings should be within your company for life. Especially because he's never really hanging backstage drama. He was always a company guy through thick and thin. Always, you know, whatever role that he was in, he killed it, right? I don't think he wants to retire yet per se.
Right.
So, you know, it's a blow to the company, and the word from backstage.
Yo. Justin, I think you froze. I think Justin froze. Holy shit. Hold on, let me text him. PC crashed. Okay. Yeah, his PC crashed. Just continue with the show. Hold on, people. I'm just reading what Justin's writing. Well, it's update. Fuck. His computer's updating. Right in the middle of this riveting conversation. It's going to be a while. Oy vey. Alright. Well, the show must go on, as they say, people. Not that anyone's dead, but yeah, just to kind of piggyback off of what Justin was mentioning with R-Truth, it is shocking on one hand because you have a guy like R-Truth, Ron Killings, who is known for being someone who's very jovial and keeps the mood backstage more entertaining, you know, very lighthearted and positive. But at the same token, it's like we all remember R-Truth back in the NWA, back on, you know, TNA, as being treated more like a serious wrestler. And yeah, R-Truth at the age of, what, 52, 53? The way he can move in the ring, you know, how many 50-something-year-olds do you know can do splits like that? How many do you know that can move around the ring like that? And yeah, he was entertaining, but, you know, again, for 17 years in the company, he was a comedy wrestler. And what else does he add to the show that's so sorely missed? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he can add comedic relief, but is he somebody that someone's going to pay a ticket to go see? Is he Roman Reigns? Is he Cody Rhodes? Is he John Cena? Is he fill in the blank, you know, Bianca Belair? No, he, again, comedy relief, well liked. Makes sense for everyone to be mad that he's gone. And again, I reiterate this. He's going to be brought back. Not as a talent, because I don't think he's going to retire as an in-ring competitor. From what I heard, it was a money thing. Like, they wanted to offer him, you know, substantially less than what he was making before, and he decided no. So from the way it sounds like it was mutual. And maybe he wants to move on and maybe go do some work in the indies. AEW, I don't know. it would be kind of weird if he just goes to AEW and all of a sudden he's a serious wrestler. And it's not to say he can't compete. It's just, it would just seem very forced if he goes there and he's like, I'm no longer a joke. I'm serious. Ron Killings. I'm the truth. It would just be weird. It'd be funny as fuck, though, if he shows up on AEW television and he still thinks it's WWE. Like, that actually would be kind of funny. Like, if he shows up on Dynamite and he's like, welcome to Monday Night Raw, and then he gets cut off. He's like, wait, what? This isn't that show? My bad, dog. You know, like he sees Cope and he wants to call him Edge, but he can't because Cope is like, no, we're not like that anymore. Or he sees John Moxley and he's like, hey man, why aren't you with the Shield anymore? Like, I don't know, but I mean, if he wants to go to AEW and get free money and just kind of test out the waters, and I don't know, more power to him. I personally think he'd be too good for them, but that's just me. He can definitely maybe teach some people there about like how to have a personality and get yourself over, but whatever. But sorry about that. I was biting my nails. It's a bad habit. Yeah, Ron Killings. Again, he'll be fine. It was just a little sickening, you know, seeing Monday when it's like, and we'll get to Raw, but it's like you have Stephanie Vakor in the ring, who's gonna be your next big star, and she's over like Rover. She's fucking fine as a motherfucker, and all the fans can think about is we want truth, we want truth. It's like, really, you're chanting for a 54-year-old man who was a comedy act, as opposed to your younger, hotter talent. And then they do the same thing for the main event. You have CM Punk and AJ Styles and, you know, El Grande Americano in the ring, and you're chanting, "We want truth." And they do the same thing in fucking NXT, and it's like, I don't know. But again, fans are fickle. Fans have a right to be mad when their favorite wrestlers are released. I get that, but like the whole sabotaging the show shit, I've never been a fan of. I mean, I wasn't even a fan of it when they were doing CM Punk. When they were chanting, you know, CM Punk, CM Punk. I always thought that was kind of douchey. And it's like, I get it, you're bored, and a lot of this stuff with WWE, you know, about 5-10 years ago wasn't that great, but it was still just made you sound like a douchebag. I mean, I was even kind of like rolling my eyes when they did it with Daniel Bryan, when they just kept chanting Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan. It's like, okay, whatever. But in closing, you know, Truth, I think, will be fine. He'll be fine. Sorry, I have a hang now. Bad habit, I know. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think Truth will be fine. Like, again, none of this poor R-Truth, you know, shit. People need to get over themselves. Let's see. And then you got Carlito, which I was a little bummed about because I like Carlito with the Judgment Day. I think the Judgment Day, you know, is one of the best parts of the show because they're a team that's evolved over the years, over the past, like, what was it, 3 years? Was it 3 years? Yeah, 3 years. When they first formed together, this seemed like it was supposed to be like Edge's like new brood, and then they kicked Edge out of the group, and they kind of became their own thing. And now, like, I don't know what they are, but they're definitely their own thing. And I'm not a fan of the music, like the whole trap music thing. Like, maybe it's because I just think trap music sucks, but that's just me. But yeah, Carlito is just like, he came back. He got that big reaction in Puerto Rico. And then he just went evil and joined the Judgment Day. And all he was doing was just hitting on Raquel. Like, I like that Carlito's role in the company was just him, you know, eating apples and playing PlayStation. and then making wise comments, which it almost seemed like that was just Carlito's only direction. Like they didn't even give him a script. They just said, "Hey Carlito, you're gonna do this," and that's it. And then it's like react how you want to react. But and it's weird because he was fucking yoked. I think he was more yoked than I've ever seen him before. Like even back in his heyday when they were like really pushing the shit out of him. Because before he was always kind of like stocky, thick. And in this case, he came back and he was fucking swole as a motherfucker. It's like, what the fuck are in those apples? Jesus Christ. Yeah, it makes sense because it's like at the end of the day, kind of like with Truth, where it's like, at the end of the day, what are you going to do with him? He's not young. He can't go out there and really work the way he used to. I mean, he could, but like Justin has mentioned time and time again on the show, WWE is going through a youth movement. They are really going through a youth movement, especially since Triple H took over. And people want to bring up facts that, Vince McMahon would never. And it's like, well, Vince isn't here anymore. Sorry. Like, I'm not going to side with the alleged rapist guy who took a shit on people's heads. Like, no, Vince is gone. People need to get over it. Stop. Yes, Vince pushed certain people, and Triple H doesn't push certain people. Vince pushed Bobby Lashley, and as much as I love Bobby Lashley wasn't a draw. Love him, but sorry, wasn't a draw, wasn't that guy, wasn't Brock. Triple H took over and just realized, okay, this guy's almost 50. Granted, doesn't look like it, but he's almost 50. Realistically, what am I going to do with him? So he can either stay and get paid less or leave and go get paid more and maybe come back in the future. But, apparently he's a racist. What? I don't fucking know. But yeah, Carlito, he'll be fine. Again, I think this can be a case of he'll probably come back to do like Hall of Fame induction, maybe ambassador, maybe trainer. I know he's working for his dad's Fed back in whatchamacallit. I almost said Colorado. Puerto Rico. Where he just won like their world title. So Carly will be fine. And I like the fact that he joked about it. He was like, I'll be back in another 13 years. Let's see, what's next? Sarah Logan. Again, I really hate to kick someone while they're down, but what is she adding to the show? R-Truth and Carlito at least added something entertaining to the show. Sarah Logan was never very good. Let's just be real. Let's just be frank. And or guess about it. Not my show. I'm sorry. God damn it. Even when she was in the Riot Squad, she was never very particularly good. She was a nice piece to the War Raiders, because their whole thing is they're Vikings, and she's Valhalla. So she was at least a nice piece to the puzzle, or piece to the act, I guess. But it just again, it's like what's missing with her gone from the show? Really nothing. And again, I'm sure she's a nice lady. I'm sure she's a sweetheart of a woman. Financially, she'll do fine. Her husband's still on the show. I don't know for very long, but they're still on the show. They make money. I don't know. Maybe she'll go to AEW and take the free money. Maybe she'll go to GCW and have death matches. I don't fucking know. I know Priscilla Kelly, Gigi Dolan, she's going to GCW and she's gonna have a intergender match with her husband, or not her husband, her fiance Zach. Which yay. And she just put up a video, or no, she's allowed to wrestle now. Her and Elena Black, Cora Jade, they're now allowed to wrestle. So good for them. Gigi, she put up a video where she basically just did the whole she did the whole "I was stuck in my own prison," just all that shit of like, I didn't even know who I was and I was dead inside and blah blah blah. It's like, okay, so you're gonna be one of those people, right? Oh, whatever. And Elena, Cora, I had to kind of eat crow a little bit because I felt like a complete asshole. She was on Ariel Helwani, and she talked about how there was an incident back in 2023 where she had to go to the hospital. And actually, let me pull up the quote. Hold up. Elena Black. So she was with Ariel Helwani, and she said back in 2023, nearly lost her life due to a ectopic pregnancy. Ectopic pregnancy. First time I've heard that terminology. She had been off WWE television between January and April 2023. She revealed that her absence results in a serious medical emergency. In January of 2023, it was like the very late January. I was supposed to wrestle Lyra Valkyria on TV on Tuesday. And long story short, I'll spare you the details. Long story short, I ended up in emergency surgery in the hospital the night before. Literally almost dying and bleeding out because I had an ectopic pregnancy that had failed and exploded, like made me internally bleed. Black says she was rushed into the emergency surgery so she didn't bleed out. She noted that she was worried about making it to her match the next day. In hindsight, she is thankful she went to the hospital after an 11-hour wait. Doctors realized that she needed emergency surgery. Again, feel bad. I obviously feel bad that nobody should ever lose their life. Like, somebody that young shouldn't die. And the fact that she got it treated as soon as she could, good. Ectopic pregnancy. I never heard of that term. So, let's see. A pregnancy that cannot be carried to term because the fertilized egg grows outside of the uterus. Ooh. That's, again, this is the first time I'm hearing that term. With an ectopic pregnancy, the fertilized egg can't survive, and it can cause life-threatening bleeding without treatment. The most common type of ectopic pregnancy involves one of the fallopian tubes, which eggs pass through on the way to the uterus. Hormones or how the egg develops may play roles too. Again, I'm glad she got the help she needed, medical-wise. Again, not the. Aside from how I feel about her as a wrestler, that should never happen to anybody. I also have to defend her on this notion. I know she just started in OnlyFans, which I always kind of feel half and half about OnlyFans, where there's that kind of okay boomer side of me, which I don't know why I'm saying boomer. I'm only 35, but where I'm like, I'm out here working my ass off trying to pay off my debt and trying to pay my bills and keep the lights on, while these girls go on OnlyFans and show their titties and make more money than I'll make in a week. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Make your money. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me. And that's what, that's what Cora's doing. Push it open. Sorry, my wife's texting me. Yeah, that's what Cora's doing. She's using her God-given, well, not really given, gifts to make money. And that's fine. Fine with that. Doesn't seem fine for other people, because you see people on social media that are just tearing this girl apart. Calling her disgusting and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, again, not just wrestling fans, men in general are just fickle. These male wrestling fans that oogle this girl that made TikTok pages based off of her, just oogling all over her body. Now they're calling her, these gross, disgusting names. And it's like you're just being jealous, you're being petty that she doesn't want you, that she's making money off of this, and I don't get what the fuck you want. I really don't get what the fuck wrestling fans really want anymore. I don't. Like, I don't care. As long as she's not harming herself or harming animals or children, I don't care what she does to make ends meet. It doesn't mean shit to me. So yeah, I covered the releases. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I know there was like a little, I guess, scare over not Justin. Oh, well, Justin should be back on here, but the Miz took off all mention of WWE on his Twitter. Gunther did the same thing. Miz, his contract is coming up this summer, so is Cross. Gunther, I don't really know much about his contract status. I don't think they're going to get rid of Gunther. He's one of the big stars on the show. He ain't going nowhere. Miz, at this point, it wouldn't shock me if they just said we're gonna move on. And I don't even think the Miz needs WWE, to be honest. Like, Miz is one of those guys that he is a company guy like R-Truth, and he's somebody that anyone can benefit learning something from. If you need a upstart babyface that needs to get over, the Miz is the guy that they're going to pair him with. If you need a heel to get over, you pair him with the Miz, in a tag team. But I think at this point in his career, the Miz doesn't need WWE anymore. I don't even think WWE needs the Miz anymore. I think if the Miz left, it wouldn't really mean anything. And it's not to discredit his work and his attributes that he's had with the company since 2005. I just, at this point, like, what else can you do with the Miz? He can be an agent. He can be a producer. Maybe not a trainer, but yeah, he's somebody that he already hasn't made outside of the wrestling business. I mean, he can easily be a host for a television show or a game show. And again, he can be brought back as like an ambassador for the company under a Legends deal. So, again, it wouldn't shock me if the Miz left, because at this point it's like everyone kind of seems fair game. Cross, I know his contract is coming up pretty soon, and that's one of those things of like it's kind of a head scratcher, because I would have figured in this Triple H era of WWE, a guy like Cross, who I thought was a Triple H guy, would have been featured more prominent on the show. And granted, he kind of is, but he hasn't really had a match. He just is backstage telling people that they're evil and they're going to do bad things because he knows they're a bad person. But it's confusing what they're doing with Cross. It's like shit or off the pot. At this point, it's like you've already shit and gotten off the pot. Like, you've left shit all over the pot. So I really don't know what they're doing with Cross anymore. At this point, it wouldn't shock me if they just decided not to renew it. And good for Cross. I think Cross can go anywhere else and get over. Maybe not AEW, because I don't want him going to AEW. He can go to TNA and get over. He can go to NWA and be a big star. He can go to, I don't know where he can go to, but I think he can go anywhere and he'll do fine. I mean, he's doing stuff with Hollywood as well. So there you go. I just booked Cross's career. You're welcome. Alright, so that's enough of the releases. Or not releases, but just non-contract renewals. Let's go to WWE SmackDown, which was in Tampa. Let's see. That show opens with Nia Jax versus Naomi versus Jade Cargill. in a triple threat to see who will qualify for the women's Money in the Bank. And match wasn't too bad. Naomi got the win, so Naomi's going to be a part of the Money in the Bank match. I know Bianca opened the show, and that's really the gist of it. Oh, no, Bianca... Oh, here's what I remember. Bianca opened the show. It was in Tennessee, and Bianca's a Tennessee girl. She comes out, Naomi comes out, and tries to make amends with her, and Bianca... Or no, Naomi says, like, I actually showed up to your parents' house while your parents weren't there, and I just looked at all your photos in your home. I'm like, Naomi's doing a really good job with this heel turn. Like, she actually legit does seem like she's having fun with it, and it doesn't seem like it's forced. My only thing is that eventually she's gonna get babyface pops pretty soon, because it's kind of like a Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, did his best work last year, and now people like Drew McIntyre. People were gonna cheer Drew McIntyre, and they think he's funny. Like, he's not a hateful heel. He's a cool heel, and he's a funny heel. Naomi, I think, is in that group of, like, she's not necessarily a cool heel, but she's a funny heel, because she knows how to internet and be funny. Like, she whatchamacallit, when R-Truth got released, Naomi was like, why the hell didn't Jay get released? So but yeah, and then she just told Naomi told Bianca, what happens if I start beating your mama's ass right in front of you? And Bianca can't really do anything because Bianca's still hurt. Let's see. R-Truth was actually R-Truth's last WWE show. He was in the back, talking to, what was it? He was talking to Solo, JC Mateo, and Jacob Fatu, and he's like, you some big ass boys. And he's like telling Solo, that JC Mateo is his son. So JC Mateo and R-Truth had a match. Mateo won. Like I mentioned, R-Truth's last match with WWE. Never would have guessed it. But Jeff Cobb, I'm not really sold on. I don't know, maybe he needs to work more, but I just can't get past the fact that the guy is 5'7". Again, big thick boy, as people would say, but he's quite a small man. Like, Bronson Reed isn't exactly this giant of a man, but Bronson Reed, I'd buy more. Jeff Cobb, if people want to bring up his Japan work, cool. I don't care. I don't care what he did anywhere else other than WWE. And if that makes me sound like a WWE bitch, by all means. Like, what you did overseas doesn't mean shit when you get to WWE. Again, I'm channeling the spirit of Kevin Castle. What you do in the big leagues matter. What you did in the minor leagues doesn't matter. It matters enough to get noticed, but don't let all that be your gimmick of I was a big star in Japan. It's like, yeah, that's nice, but what are you doing now? So hopefully Jeff Cobb or JC Mateo or whatever you want to call him can do something that helps him stand out. Because this whole bloodline thing it's been dead for a long time. Jacob Fatu is clearly head and shoulders the biggest star in that group. Solo he's been, again, DOA for a long time, ever since Jacob Fatu came in. And there was that report that we talked about a while back where the office was worried about Jacob Fatu becoming a bigger star than Solo. Well, it happened. It happened, people. He's a bigger star. He is a much bigger star than Solo. Because his presentation and his personality just sell it, and the fact that he can go out there and have good matches. Solo, they have tried to do things with. It just doesn't work. Granted, he probably has more personality than he's ever had before. He's better on the mic, but it's like at the end of the day, he's just not. He's not that guy. And they're just waiting for Solo to turn on Jacob, and then Jacob can just destroy Solo, and them's the breaks. Or I guess whenever the two Tongas show back up. So we'll see. All right. What else happened on the show? Los Garzas versus Javon Evans and Rey Fenix. Good to see Javon Evans on the main roster. Los Garzas got the win. It made sense. The heels need to get a win. Zelina Vega versus Alba Fire. Because she's still feuding with Chelsea. Vega won. Blah blah blah. A Money in the Bank qualifier, Jacob Fatu versus Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes. Good match, very good match. Three very talented guys. I'll be honest, I forgot Andrade was even on the show. That's how not important he's been ever since returning. But got the win, which I was surprised by. I was almost positive it was going to be Carmelo. I actually wanted it to be Carmelo. It would have made more sense if it was Carmelo, but I guess they wanted to give Andrade something. I mean, granted, I don't think it's going to hurt Carmelo to not be in the... Well, I actually do think it's going to hurt him a little bit because, this is a big match. And I'm assuming it's going to be the main event, this Saturday. I'm going to guess it's the main event. But, I don't know. I was a little shocked that Carmelo lost. But, during the match, Solo distracted Jacob from doing the moonsault because he kept telling him to do it again and again and again. And like I mentioned, Andrade got the win by pinning Melo. So there we go. And then you had Cody Rhodes come back, and good to see Cody. Cody means something to the show. He's a star. I'm glad that he was gone for a month at least, because he needed time to get away. He probably could have been out a lot longer, but WWE, they're putting out a lot of these pay-per-views, and I don't like it. I don't like the fact that they're putting out too many pay-per-views, and it just seems like they're too close to each other. I like whenever it's just literally a month away and not just 2.5 weeks away. But granted, this is TKO, and they want to put out as much content as possible. So, what the fuck do I know? He came out. Jey Uso came out. John Cena came out. Logan Paul came out. John Cena cut his usual promo, telling everybody that Logan Paul is the biggest star in the company, that Logan Paul, pays your mortgage and blah, blah, blah. They're about to fight, and then John Cena tells Logan, no, we gotta leave. And Logan's like, but I think we should fight them. And then Cody turns over to John and Logan and says, what are you going to do in the back? Polish his Peacemaker? Which was, funny. And then they fought off, and that's how the show ends. So, good. Again, good to see Cody back. Cody was missed. And he got his desired reaction, which was a babyface cheer. So now we go to Monday Night Raw. Raw has not been good lately. It has not been very good for the past... I can't even remember the last good Raw. I don't know if I would call this the worst Raw of Netflix, but it was just so fucking... It was lifeless, and things on the show didn't make sense to me. So we'll talk about... CM Punk came out and opened the show and talked about being in the Money in the Bank match and, saying, I was a back-to-back winner, blah, 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 I'm going to win for a third time, maybe I can cash in on, who's the current world champion? Jey Uso, you're my friend, but don't take it personal. Or maybe I can cash in on John Cena, because he's a bitch. Woo! He briefly brought up The Rock and called him a bald fraud, which he didn't say The Rock by name. He just said bald fraud. So, and then Sammy came out for some reason, which made no sense. Um, I was expecting AJ Styles to come out and them just having like their own little interaction to kind of get fans to be like, "Hey, remember Ring of Honor? Huh? Eh?" Um, no, but I was actually kind of thinking like AJ Styles should come out to kind of give the fans something. Um, or Chad Gable. Like, why not have Chad Gable come out? Chad Gable can come out as El Grande Americano's #1 fan and be like, "You can't beat El Grande Americano!" Like, do all that. And then Punk just levels him, with a GTS. Like, that would have been funny. That would have at least made sense because it would have went with what was going on in the match. But instead, Sami Zayn came out and just cut a really weird promo where he's like, "Punk, you have to win. You must win. You will win. I want you to win." Which I'm like, okay, so I guess Punk's not winning. That was such a fucking odd promo. Alright. And then you had the women's Money in the Bank qualifier. You had Liv Morgan, Ivy Nile, and officially a part of the Raw roster, it's Stephanie McCool, who they gave a pretty big entrance to. They gave a vignette to really hype her up. Got a big reaction from the crowd. I mean, again, aside from the fact that she's hot as balls, she's fucking talented. Like, when she gets in the ring, her stuff looks legit, and she makes everybody look not as good. And as much as I love Liv, and as much as Liv has had a great year so far, put her in the ring with a girl like Stephanie's going to eat her alive. I can't even make a case that her fucking Stephanie stuff probably looks better than most of the guys. But she looked good. The crowd liked it, even though the crowd was chanting, "We want truth," which I'm like, really, people? Come on. You have Stephanie McCool. Why do you want truth? I was expecting a Roxanne appearance where Roxanne inadvertently cost her the match, but Roxanne came out in another match later, which I guess made sense. But Stephanie got the win. Not Roxanne. Liv, again, Liv's fine. Liv's Liv. She's not going to lose anything. She doesn't really need this win. Stephanie makes sense because they want to build her up as the next big thing on the show as far as, the star of the women's division. I think, personally to me, I think she's a heavy favorite to win the Women's Royal Rumble next year. Like, that's just me. I think she could win it and go on to Mania and challenge to whoever is the women's champion at that time. They kind of tease it can be her and Rhea, Mommy and La Primera. That could be a big money matchup. I'm honestly surprised they didn't do Stephanie and Julia in NXT. That could be a matchup too, or that's something they might want to save down the line. I don't know, but yeah, Raw. Yes, Raw is Vakor, as I put it. Let's see what happened next. There was a backstage promo with Paul Heyman and AJ Styles. It was AJ Styles' birthday Monday. I believe he was 48, which is fucking ridiculous that he's 48 and can still do the things he does. But kind of weird promo where he's telling AJ, if you win, you better throw the money in the bank because it's, Seth Rollins' time. I'm like, oh, okay, that was an odd promo. Again, it was a night of odd promos. The War Raiders versus Judgment Day. Again, I like the Judgment Day. I think they have the best segments on the show. Finn, I think, is doing some of his best character work lately as being this very condescending, sneaky person where he clearly wants Liv and Dom to break up, but he's not outright saying it. JD, I think, has shown a lot of fire since he came back. He had that career-threatening injury, and now he's out there bumping and moving around better than I'd ever seen him when he was in NXT and he was Jordan Devlin. So, happy for JD. Again, sad that Carlito's not there. I noticed that the PS5 was gone, so Carlito left and took the PS5, which sucks, but it's still kind of funny where he's like, "Oh well, I'm taking this home." And then during the match, Roxanne, the ref wasn't looking. She cost the War Raiders the match. So Roxanne proving her worth to Finn and possibly JD for some for a mutiny in the Judgment Day. So that's how it looks like it's going to go. All right. You have Lyra, Valkyria, and Becky. Blah. Blah. I didn't care for this promo. Didn't really like this promo one bit. I haven't really enjoyed this feud. This feud hasn't really excited me the way I've been wanting it to. And it's weird. You have two Irish girls, and you would think they would do a better job at talking shit to each other. But granted, it's a PG show, and I'm pretty sure Triple H is like, yeah, we can't have you go out there and call each other cunts, whatever. It'd be funny as shit, but you can't do it. But yeah, this has been kind of a boring feud with these two. And Lyra is somebody I want to like more than I do, but she's not believable. Now, she's not a terrible wrestler by any means, but she's just not believable in this role. And Becky, I just think Becky is just a shell of herself. Like this isn't 2018 anymore. This isn't the man. This is, I don't know who this Becky Lynch is anymore. And her as a heel just ain't working. She was never a good heel. People want to cheer her. Her being a heel, it just seems like she's an actress trying to play a role. And I'm all set with Becky. If Becky left, I probably wouldn't care. I don't think anyone would care, to be honest. But hopefully this feud finishes up pretty soon. And by soon, I mean this weekend. Let's see. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, which ended in disqualification, as you would all expect. Again, there wasn't really anything special about the match. You just kind of figured what was going to happen. A weird segment with Karrion Kross and Sammy, which a lot of people were asking who that doctor was in the segment. It's not Samantha Irving. It looks like Samantha Irving, but it's not. It's actually the current River City Wrestling Women's Champion, whose name escapes me, but that's her. So good for her. But Kross telling Sammy, I know you're a bad guy, but you're also a good guy. But I think you're a bad guy. You're a bad boy, Sami Zayn. A bad, bad boy. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Kross? What the fuck are you talking about? It really doesn't make sense. Like, I have a feeling Sammy's going to turn heel. He's going to turn on Punk, and then he's going to join Sammy's group, and then eventually he's going to be a face again. And I know Justin's been talking about Sammy could win the Royal Rumble in Saudi and then go on to win the world title against Rollins at Mania, which very well could happen. It almost seems like that's they're kind of leaving breadcrumbs to that being a possibility, because they really do keep hammering home the fact that Sammy's never been a world champion. Even Kross brought that up in his promo. It's like, by now you should have been a world champion 10 times. Because you're too much of a nice guy. You don't want to be a bad guy. Like me. But we'll see. You never know. Like, he could join Rollins' group temporarily and then make a change and then turn on Rollins, and then Rollins beats him up severely. And then he returns to the Rumble where he wins, and the last person he throws out could be, like, I don't know, Breaker. We'll see. But that was just a really odd promo with those two. A really weird exchange. Um, Kairi Sane versus Raquel Rodriguez. Yeah, I didn't care. I got no issue with Kairi. I just can't really buy into her personally. And then the main event, which was the men's Money in the Bank qualifier, you had CM Punk versus AJ Styles versus El Grande Americano. I would have liked if AJ won, just to kind of give AJ something, but to kind of go by what Justin was saying earlier, WWE is obviously in a youth movement, and a guy like AJ, yes, he can work, and he's mainly going to be used as a guy to put the other guy over, which is a shame because he's still AJ and he's still fucking awesome. I would have liked if he won, but they really do love this El Grande Americano gimmick, and along with Stephanie, Chad. Oh, not Chad Gable. Forget I said that, but Chad Gable will be working the show early in the day on Saturday. El Grande will be working, a match later that night. Wink, wink. The El Grande Americano, yeah, it's again, I know Chad Gable's El Grande Americano, but it's getting him over. I think people are still confused as to what the gimmick is supposed to be. Like, there's still people that are doing the whole, it's a racist gimmick. I'm like, what do you call it? It's a parody, but there's another, satire. There you go. It's satire, and people don't really seem to grasp what the concept of satire is, which is like, I don't get it. Like, if this happened on AEW, the fans would eat this shit up. If fucking MJF did this, people would love the shit out of it. But because it's Chad Gable and it's the evil WWE, it's racist. It's not funny. Like, I don't, whatever. But I'm personally not nuts about the gimmick, and not because of what the gimmick represents. But I think the gimmick was cute for about a month, and now it's kind of lost its luster. But I figured he was going to win the match. Punk, I don't think, needs to be in Money in the Bank. It would have been nice if he was in it. It definitely would add some more star power. But I don't think he needed to be in the match. Again, if I had to, gun to my head, I would have picked AJ to be in. But they're going to go with AJ. Well, not AJ. They won't. Going to go with Chad, El Grande. So, there you go. And that was Raw. Raw was, yeah. Not a good show. It hasn't been a very good show for a while. All right. Let's see. Yeah, NXT. We'll talk about NXT for a bit. A lot of the show was just setting up this Saturday. Worlds Collide. Chase U versus Dark State. Still surprised. I call them Temu Shield. If anything, they're Temu Retribution. But Temu Shield sounds funny. And they got the win. They're still a thing. I'm still not sure what the whole point of them being on the show is. I don't know if someone brought them in, if someone's really leading them, but to me, they don't mean anything to the show. I don't care for them. At first, it was like, okay, we got a new group, and then you had guys on. With the exception of Shigor, I call him Shigor, it's Sugar. I don't really care about anyone else in the group. Like Dion Lennox, I thought was decent, but everyone else, I can kind of take him or leave him, aside from Sugar, who's clearly the entertainer of the group. Let's see. You had Miles Bourne versus Charlie Dempsey in a rounds match. If Miles Bourne won the match, he's out of no quarter catch crew. Which, okay. Not really a fan of these rounds matches. I'm not a fan of, I guess, that kind of British style of wrestling, which I know RJ brought up. RJ kind of knows more about this stuff than me, as far as like other kinds of wrestling, other companies, and he was even like, I don't even think this is a thing that exists. Seems like a thing that WWE made, but Not really a fan of it personally, and Miles Bourne got the win, and Charlie Dempsey didn't shake his hand, and now he's out of the group and gets to go home to Stephanie Vacour, so it's a win-win for him. You quiet, you. Then you have the debut of Tyra May Steele, who was the winner of LFG, who made her debut against Ariana Grace. Good to see Ariana on the show. She looked good out there. Again, I need to see more of her. I need to see more of a personality out of her. The I'm a badass from the Olympics shtick can only get you so far. Like, you need personality. Kurt Angle realized that right out of the bat, but then again, that was Kurt Angle. Like, that was lightning in a bottle. So we'll see what she can do. But from what I saw, she looked pretty good out there. And Grace, I thought, did a great job, selling and making her look like $1 million. JC Jane came out, the new NXT Women's Champion. She came out and cut her promo, basically saying that she's been doubted ever since she got here, blah blah blah, and telling the fans, none of you believed in me, all of you can't jump on the JC Jane bandwagon, blah blah blah. And all of a sudden, you started seeing more women come out. You saw Thea Hale, you saw Jada Parker. Who was the blonde girl that came out? Obviously not Mariah May, the other girl. There's a tiny blonde girl that came out. Hold on. Lainey Reed. Who the fuck is Lainey Reed? I literally haven't seen her on the show. Unless she's like brand spanking new. But she came out, and then Lola Vice came out, and Jordan Grace, and Jada Parker, and Kalani Jordan, Lash Legend, Thea Hill, and they all fought. All of a sudden the lights went out. And you see a single spotlight focus on a blonde girl at the balcony, and it ends up being Mariah May. So Mariah May is now officially in NXT. She wasn't referred to as Mariah May, so more than likely, and it's likely, she'll get an alternate name. Kind of like Ricky Starks, he got an alternate name. He's now Ricky Saints, which at this point I've accepted it. He's Ricky Saints, and it's fine. It makes sense. Mariah May, I don't know what you call her. Again, I'm not the biggest Mariah May fan. I know Justin loves that girl. I'm more just like, I just think she's just okay. Like, she's obviously a pretty girl, and her whole thing is she can get down and dirty, and she had those hardcore matches with Toni Storm where she would bleed. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Question mark. So to me, I can't even like pretend to be excited. I'm not gonna pretend to be excited that she's in the company. To me, I'm more just like, well, that's cool. You have somebody else on the roster. You have somebody with buzz on the roster. And with NXT, losing Stephanie and Julia, and then pretty soon they're going to lose Jordan, you have another big name in the women's roster. So I think that's what I'm more excited about, to see what she can add to the show. But yeah, it was good. I think that was a nice little bit of making her debut. So let's see what she can do. And as much as I love JC, she's dropping that title ASAP. I'm sorry. Like, she very much screams transitional placeholder champion. And yeah, I think she will drop that title at either Evolution or Great American Bash. If I had to guess, if I had to pick one, I'd say Evolution. Sounds like a better choice. Legacy, Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, and Laredo Kid from AAA versus Ethan Page and the Vanity Project. Vanity Project are from Evolve. I need to watch Evolve more. Like, it seems like such a fun show. I haven't been keeping up with it, but I thought they went well with Page. Because Page, he's supposed to be this kind of uptight, pompous douchebag. And these Vanity guys, they kind of fit the mold of, like, we are pompous douchebags. So I thought they all fit well with Ethan. And I wouldn't mind seeing them in a faction with each other. Like I think they all have something to learn from someone like Ethan Page. And I thought this was I thought this was a fun match. You know, everybody did their own thing, and it worked. Um, you know, of course, you know the faces are talented as fuck. Laredo Kid's, you know, Laredo Kid's very talented, but you know he doesn't really do anything I haven't seen. He's no Penta, and Evans is Evans. Sean Legacy, I think, has a very unique look to him. He kind of reminds me of Buddy Murphy, a little bit. Like he's this kind of short, very stocky guy that can do good moves. And Dragon Lee, again, God bless him, he's still here and he's still doing something. But the faces won. And then lastly, you had the main event, which was for the TNA World Championship. Trick Williams, who's the champion, versus Mike Santana. Sorry about that. Which is very soon. I kind of figured that they would wait for a pay-per-view to do this, but you know they wanted to get their ratings in. But I thought this was a very good, very, very, very good match. Again, Santana, I think he fits well on the show. He doesn't seem out of place. Seems like he belongs. Made Trick look like $1 million. Trick, again, one of those guys that you put him in the ring with somebody that knows what they're doing, you can get a good match out of them. And in this case, you put him in the ring with a guy like with Santana, and it made him look like $1 million. And I thought there was a point in this match where I kind of thought, are they going to take the title off of Trick like this soon? But no. Eventually, that wasn't the case. You had Elijah, you know, the former Elias, you know, sitting up front because he was going to challenge the winner next Friday at, I forgot what the name of the pay-per-view was. That was a TNA pay-per-view on Friday. And there was a point in the match where Trick takes Elijah's guitar and smashes it, and the referee's distracted. While it's happening, you have AJ Francis and Casey Navarro who attack Santana while the referee isn't looking, and Trick gets the win, and Trick celebrates with the two heels because now he's a heel. Yeah, again, good match. NXT is, you know, we always say NXT is the better show. Sean knows how to book. And, yeah, with the addition of a Mariah May, or whatever she chooses to call herself, which we'll probably find out next Tuesday, we're off to a good start with NXT. We're rebuilding, and it looks like everything's going the way it should. Alright, let me text Justin and see where he's at. I just text him, see if everything's all good. Alright, so what else do we have? We have Worlds Collide, we have Money in the Bank. Let's talk about Worlds Collide. So AAA and NXT will do a Worlds Collide pay-per-view this Saturday. And hold on, let me pull up the most recent one. Okay, here we go. June 7th in Inglewood, California at the Kia Forum. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and AAA. You have all those stars from all those brands. And there's 5 matches. Looks like that's going to be the way it goes. You have a 6-man tag match. You have Legado del Fantasma versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown. I literally don't know the other 3, so I guess I'm going to go with the team I know, which is Legado. Yeah, I'm going to go with Legado. Latino World Order, Dragon Lee. No, Zichi, I'm sorry. Dragon Lee and Cruz del Toro and Lince Dorado versus Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana. I guess I'll go with Latino World Order. Again, I'm only going with the people I know more. Stephanie Vaccora and Lola Vice versus Chick Tormenta and Dallas. That's going to Stephanie. That's going to go Stephanie and Lola. Again, not familiar with most of the people on this roster. Fatal 4-Way for the NXT North American Championship. Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Laredo Kid, and Ray Phoenix. Ethan Page is walking out. He's going to win. And then lastly, you had El Hijo del Vikingo versus Chad Gable for the AAA Mega Championship, which Vikingo just won last week after beating Del Rio. It would be kind of funny and cool at the same time if Chad Gable won the AAA Mega Championship. Like, his whole gimmick is that he's after luchadors and he finally takes their title. That would be kind of funny. Oh, Justin's back.
Hello, sorry about that. My PC crashed on me and it updated with the new Windows, so that took a while and I had to fix passwords and stuff. But I'm back. Continue.
All right, so we're actually on Worlds Collide right now.
Okay.
So yeah, let me kind of start the card.
Where are you at right now? We'll just pick up where you left off, but we don't have to go back.
Okay. Well, granted, I'm not familiar with most of the people on this roster. I'm on the main event, which I'm assuming is the main event. Yeah, El Hijo del Vikingo versus Chad Gable for the AAA Mega Championship.
Yeah, I think Vikingo is definitely winning that. 1,000%.
Chad Gable, I think, Chad Gable can make anyone look like $1 million. He brings out a good match in anyone. This could be Vikingo, one of his better matches. It would be kind of funny if Chad won.
I mean, he always has good matches, though, Vikingo.
Yeah, anyways, I was saying Chad Gable, it would be funny if he won. Because, his whole thing is that he hates luchadors and he's after luchadors and, he ends up taking their belt. So that'd be kind of funny if he won, right. But I doubt he's going to win. Right. But yeah, let me just go over the rest of the card and kind of get your opinion. 6-man tag match. Legado del Fantasma versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown.
I'm going with Team AAA. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown. For sure. Those are 3 of the biggest stars in AAA, outside of Vikingo. So.
All right. Don't know much about them, so I just went with the team I'm more familiar with. Fatal 4-Way for the NXT North American Championship. Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Laredo Kid, and Ray Phoenix.
Ethan Page. Maybe there's a possibility Javon could win, but I think he'll probably beat Ethan Page in a one-on-one match. So
true.
But that should be a really damn good match, though. Laredo Kid is awesome. He's great. Ray Phoenix speaks for himself. That maybe end up being match of the night.
Could
be
the
event at least.
Yeah, I went with Ethan. Tag match: Stephanie Vaccora and Lola Vice versus Chick Tormenta and Dallas.
Obviously, Lola Vice and Stephanie Vaccora.
Yeah, I went with that. And then Latino World Order, Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, and Lince Dorado versus Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana.
And Lince Dorado is replacing Joaquin Wilde, obviously. I don't know if you heard that he suffered an injury during the speed match a couple days ago. So that's why Lince Dorado is in this match. So Lince Dorado, who has no affiliation with WWE or AAA right now, was like, hey, come do this match in Mexico or in Los Angeles. So maybe this will get Lince back in WWE.
Just glad it wasn't Del Rio. So who are you going with?
I'm going with the LW on this one.
Okay. It's funny because Aerostar, I recognize that name. I actually have him on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, he just randomly added me.
That's cool.
I always forget about that, but yeah, that's the card for Worlds Collide. So let's do Money in the Bank, and then I'm going to ask you something else afterwards, just to kind of get your opinion on a few things. But Money in the Bank, is going to be later in the day in Inglewood, California at the Intuit Dome. 4 matches. I think that's kind of all you need. Let's see. Men's Money in the Bank match. Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Penta, Seth Rollins, Andrade, and El Grande Americano.
So I'm gonna go with either LA Knight or Seth Rollins, but I think Seth Rollins is gonna get distracted from a CM Punk
or Roman.
Or yeah, well, both of them, right? I think both of them may be involved. But LA Knight, it's down to me, LA Knight or Solo Sikoa. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull on Solo. But I'm gonna go with LA Knight on this one.
I do not want Solo to win this. Like, Solo is just bleh.
I mean, I wouldn't mind him winning. I think he'll do I think he'll do an admirable job as Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? And give him a shot. Give him a shot. See what he does with it. You know what I mean? But honestly, it's like outside of Seth Rollins, there's like really not no huge stars. Penta's popular, but he's not a huge star. Andrade's ice cold. I don't see them putting on Andrade. Like for Chad Gable to win, right?
You mean El Grande Americano?
You know what I mean.
If
they would have put Chad Gable, if they would have had Chad Gable to win, the way I would have done it is I would have booked him in a third match this weekend to where that he ends up getting unmasked during the AAA show in some portion. He gets unmasked during the AAA show. He'll have a match against Vikingo, even though that is probably main eventing, but he ends up getting unmasked, later in the show. Then he comes into this match. Everyone knows he's not grinding Americano. Now it's Chad Gable. He comes in pissed off, and he wins. But I mean, that's not going to happen. But I think that'd be a very good a way to tell a story throughout the entire day for Chad Gable. But I think the favorites right now are LA Knight and Solo Sikoa for me. But I'm going with LA Knight.
It's tough because Seth seems like the obvious choice, but like you mentioned, I think Punk's going to come out. I think Roman's going to come out too. Because I mean,
does Seth really need it either? He doesn't need it.
And I also don't think they want to do another someone cashes in and they fail thing like Drew did last year. So LA Knight is kind of like in a weird spot of like the guy is still over. The guy still gets reactions. People still like LA Knight. They buy his merch, but it almost seems like WWE is a little bit too gun shy onto what to do with him. Where it's like they can easily make him a main eventer, but I think they're unsure because of his age. Solo, I just no. Like maybe Solo from a few years ago, but not Solo now. Like Solo is a little dead in the water right now.
But you don't think so you think he's completely dead and there's no way for him to come back at all?
Maybe the feud with Jacob can do something, but as of now, Solo, I have no interest in Solo.
So his career's over.
No, I'm not saying he's going to get fired tomorrow. I'm just saying, like, at the moment...
I didn't say that. I didn't say he was going to get fired, but you're making it seem like his career is dead in the water, that he won't be able to...
He has no momentum. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair. I think so, yeah.
Okay, he has no momentum. Andrade, I'm surprised, is in this match. I was expecting Carmelo to be in the match, but he lost for some reason.
Well, that'd be a shocker if Andrade wins.
Oh, boy. And Penta, I don't think at this point he doesn't really need it.
Too soon.
Yeah, too soon, and also he's still doing something with El Grande. It would be funny as shit if El Grande won. Like I think that would be pretty crazy. Like, can you imagine Chad Gable winning the AAA title and then El Grande winning Money in the Bank? Oh, that'd be nuts, but it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna go with LA Knight. Fuck it, LA Knight. That's my choice. Women's Money in the Bank. Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, and Stephanie Vacour.
Could be Stephanie Vaquer. I don't think it is, though. I think that'll be too soon for her as well. Jay is going to win the United States Championship, so her winning Money in the Bank is pointless. Rhea, at this point, doesn't need it. Alexa Bliss, it's a possibility, but I don't think so either. It's really coming down to Naomi and Roxanne Perez. And to me, I'm going to go with Naomi. I think she deserves it. Her character change has been fantastic, and I think there's a bigger story to tell with her as well. And eventually, she could be champion, take it off of Tiffany, then, eventually Jade can win the title off of Naomi or something there with Bianca Belair. So there's plenty of layers and stories that they can tell with that. I'm going with Naomi.
I'm going Naomi too. I was saying right before you came back on, like, I think I'm really liking Naomi's new heel turn because it seems more genuine and authentic as far as, like, you can tell she's putting a lot of, like, tender loving care into this gimmick because it's kind of like with Drew McIntyre, where she seems like she's having fun. She's doing a lot of shit talking on the internet. Like when R-Truth got whenever R-Truth put out the statement that he was leaving, she said something like, "Why couldn't it be Jade?" Something like that. So she's really having fun with this gimmick. She's definitely entertaining. She's probably more entertaining than she's ever been as far as a character goes. So I think she's gonna win it, and then cash on Tiffany and take that away, and then continue to feud with Bianca and Jade, for the title. Roxanne could possibly win it, but again, I think that's too soon. And everyone else you talked about is kind of on the money. It seems like they have their own thing going on. So
I would think it's less too soon for Roxanne. The reason why I'm saying that is because she's been not on the main roster longer, but she's been like in the WWE system longer.
Right.
And to me as well, usually, not all the time, but usually they go with one Raw wrestler and one SmackDown wrestler to win Money in the Bank.
Right.
I'm very heavy on LA Knight. Don't count out Roxanne. I think she has a great opportunity here. Even though I'm going with Naomi, I'm just saying Roxanne has a very strong chance of winning.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go with Naomi. Roxanne being a close second. Tag team match, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul. I'm going to guess the baby faces with Logan taking the pin. Kind of seems like the way to go.
Yep, bingo. Yep.
All right. And then last chance match for the Intercontinental Women's Championship. If Lynch loses, she can no longer challenge for the title for as long as Valkyria is champion. If Valkyria loses, she'll be forced to raise Lynch's hand and acknowledge Lynch as the better woman.
I like this feud. I like this feud. I mean, it's not the best, but I like that they are giving Lyra a shot here to try to get over it, and she's somewhat getting over with the fans. Better than what she was, like 3 or 4 months ago. But as far as match is concerned, should be a damn good match. I'm gonna go with Becky Lynch.
I'm gonna say Bayley comes out and costs Becky the match because we still got Bayley coming back and wanting to feud with Becky. So I'm gonna say it, or do
you think she'll come out after the match after she wins?
Actually, I was gonna change that. Becky wins because I think they want to give that women's Intercontinental thing, more credibility, and then Bayley can come out the next Monday, and then that can kickstart their feud. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Becky. But that's Money in the Bank. Let me kind of gauge your thoughts on something that I was talking about. So Mariah May debuted on NXT yesterday. She came out during the segment with Jacy Jayne, which love Jacy Jayne, but she screams placeholder. Transitional champion. She came out and talked, and then everybody interrupted her And the lights went out, and you saw a spotlight on the balcony, and you saw a blonde girl there, and it was Mariah May, and she came out.
Oh, did you do NXT already?
Yeah, I talked about everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well. Yeah. No. If you already did, then we don't gotta go.
Well, no,
back
I want to get your.
Wanna...
Well, I just want to get your thoughts on it. On
okay.
Mariah
Gotcha.
May debuting. What are your thoughts on it?
I thought it was done very well. It was a lot sooner than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Because there were, I was gonna bring a article talking about, that she may be available in September, October. But there was conflicting reports that she was available now. But they just pulled a Ricky Saints. They just debuted her immediately. I thought it was great. That was a great way to introduce her as a big star, as she is. So yeah, just can't wait to see what she does.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Like, that's really soon. Like, the second, Triple H and Nick Khan found out about her contract status, they just were like, hey, let's bring you in. And Mariah May, her background being that she always wanted to be in WWE. Like, she tried out for WWE in 2019. And ever since then, she had been putting out, like, tweets saying, hey, Triple H, let's meet or whatever. And it's like what we talked about last week. A lot of people that get into the wrestling business, they watch WWE, and eventually they want to go to WWE because they know that's the biggest company in the world, regardless of how you feel, of how people think about it or feel about it. It's the biggest company in the world. It's Disney. It's the Yankees, so to speak. So eventually they are going to want to try WWE, and in Mariah May's case, she's always wanted to go to WWE. And she used AEW as almost kind of like her audition. And, she got some money out of it, too. So, again, I don't want to sound fake. I wasn't the biggest Mariah May fan. I didn't really think too much of her. She obviously has a look. She has personality, So let's see what she does in WWE. That's kind of how I looked at it. And also, the women's division in NXT is already good, but Stephanie and Julia and pretty soon Jordan, they're going to go to the main roster, and you need some star power. And I think Mariah May is somebody that can add that star power. Do you think WWE might want to make a play for a Britt Baker?
Yeah, we talked about this a lot of times over the last couple months. I think that's a possibility. I don't know her contract status, but I will think that if the two sides are mutual, I think they will want to try to bring her in.
All right.
I think she has a positive. I will say she'll add to WWE or NXT positively. I think she could be a face of a division. She can talk. She looks good. She can have good matches with the right opponent. So I don't see on why WWE will not want to bring her in.
I mean, you might have some feelers out there, people saying, she has a bad attitude. You think WWE can kind of fix that attitude?
Well, who else has had bad attitudes in the past from AEW who's came into WWE and hasn't had much issues?
Well, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that you notice how whenever WWE gets rid of people, you kind of hear, oh, they had the wrong attitude. So, again, you're right.
Well, one was a professional company, and I don't want to make it about. I'm not even going to talk about AEW. I'll just say this: I think she'll be fine in WWE.
Okay. All right, so that's.
Yeah, I don't want to bring up the other companies if we don't need to.
Well, in this case, I'm going to bring up the company because this involves a certain star. Not Britt Baker. We're talking about someone else. This kind of segues into the news. I really only have 2 news topics. I know you have a lot. So let's.
I lost all my news topics. We can just, Well,
let me
just go with your news topics and go from there.
All right, let me bring up this one.
Sure.
Wardlow. AEW fans last saw Wardlow wrestle in March 2024 as he unsuccessfully challenged Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship at AEW Dynamite Big Business. The following month, he interfered in Undisputed Kingdom stablemate Roderick Strong's International Championship defense against Kyle O'Reilly at AEW Dynasty. Thanks to a new report, we now have an update on his whereabouts since then. According to Fightful Select, the former TNT champion previously sustained what was believed to be a labrum injury during the spring months of 2024. Sometime after that, Wardlow was involved in a car accident, which reportedly exacerbated his existing injury. Fast forward to early 2025, Wardlow is said to have secured a very appropriate and special role on non-AEW television with in-ring clearance from AEW officials coming shortly after. Despite that, Wardlow did not return to AEW programming as AEW and CEO Tony Khan reportedly agreed that a brief comeback followed by another hiatus related to his other TV gig would not be in anyone's best interest. Regarding his AEW contract, Fightful adds that Wardlow still has a notable amount of time left before it expires. Back in March, reports indicated that Wardlow had been working in LA, working on a new project of some sort. It is unknown if that project is related to the television role he landed earlier this year. Elsewhere in LA, he was backstage at Revolution pay-per-view, which emanated from the Crypto.com arena. And yeah, so Wardlow still alive and kicking, so to speak. But I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Not really. He has time left on his deal, according to Fightful. Yeah, I mean with Tony Khan, and he's been cleared from injury, but he's working on a TV project.
I can't seem to find what his contract status is online because there is a site, I think, on Fightful where it tells you everybody's contract status with WWE, AEW, TNA. For whatever reason, Wardlow is nowhere to be found. So, I'm assuming it's sometime this year. If I had to guess.
A significant amount. I'm not guessing. I mean that we're just gonna sound like two jabronis just guessing at it if we don't have any concrete information about it. So
right,
we'll wait. If it comes up, it comes up. You know? And hopefully, someone like WWE picks him up if he decides to go there or if he wants to go there. You know.
I hope so, for his sake, for our sake. Another story. This is kind of an unfortunate story. No one's dead, so, but local authorities in Orlando, Florida, were reportedly present outside of the WWE Performance Center following the June 3rd episode of NXT, arresting someone accused of stalking the former WWE Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. The story was first reported on social media, where ex-user at NXT with Najee posted at 10:47 p.m. Eastern Time that a legit stalker had been arrested outside the Performance Center, noting that multiple bags of evidence had been taken in by police on the scene. Shortly after, the user updated the story by stating that the alleged suspect, whose name is not yet available, is WWE Liv Morgan's stalker. Sean Ross Sapp at Fightful later corroborated the allegation, stating that WWE had been made aware of the situation and called in authorities as a result. Wrestling Inc.'s editorial team had reached out to WWE and is awaiting details from the Orange County Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer to confirm these reports. It has not been confirmed if Morgan was even at the Performance Center on June 3rd, as she did not feature on that night's episode of WWE NXT or the episode of WWE Evolve, which was taped on the same day. And they went on to bring on the stalker case with Sonya Deville back in 2020. Yeah, I mean, that does suck. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm being condescending. It's just, being a woman is terrifying. Having to deal with one of the worst things that, a woman can deal with, which is, having a stalker. Especially someone like Liv Morgan, who is in the public eye and has a lot of admirers and has fans. Same thing with Sonya, who, almost lost her life in her own home. And, the fact that she even had to carry a gun with her anywhere she went, it still sucked, because it's just like, nobody should ever have to go through that. But feel bad for Liv. Again, they caught the guy, so that's good. But it's still scary when stuff like that happens. But I'm glad Liv's okay. I'm glad no one got hurt. Hopefully they can put this guy away for good. Maybe give him the help he needs, so we can avoid this kind of shit. But I don't know if you have any thoughts on it.
Not really. Sorry to hear about that for Liv Morgan. It happens all the time, unfortunately. I mean, we don't hear enough stories about this, but glad that they got the creep.
Um, so I pulled up something interesting since we were talking about contracts. So on Fightful, there is a portion of the site that was recently updated last month for wrestling contract expiration dates for WWE, AEW, NJPW, and TNA. So far on the WWE side, Karrion Kross, his contract expires in July.
Oh yeah, I did see that earlier today, actually.
As of yet, there hasn't been any talk about his contract being renewed. So, which is weird because with Kross, it's like, again, I love Kross. I'm a big fan of his. Character-wise, he's doing some of his best work, but it just seems like with WWE, it's like shit or get off the pot, and in his case, it's they've shitted all over the pot. It's like you could have done something with this guy by now, but it just I don't know why they're being so hesitant with him. Like it makes sense that you want to take your time, but it's like you could have done something with this guy already. I seriously don't get what's going on with Kross, but Miz and Dragon Lee are through the rest of the year. They even show Nick Khan. He says has an employee agreement running through 2026. Bailey late 2026. Corey Graves early 2027. Rusev April 2027. Chad Gable June 27th. Oh no, June 2027. I'm sorry. Angel Garza August 1st 2027. Rey Mysterio late 2027. Dominic Mysterio late 2028. Finn Balor 2029. Sheamus 2029. Randy Orton 2029. Booker T 2029.
You said Finn Balor 2029. Like, do you say Finn Balor 2029?
Yes.
Okay.
Then 2030. Jordan Grace, Alexa Bliss, Kevin Owens. Undertaker is 2034. He signed a 15-year deal back in 2019. And then Armando Alejandro Estrada actually signed a Legends deal, so he'll be here until September 2029. All Elite Wrestling, AEW. Danhausen, it says spring summer 2025. So
he's gone. Unfortunately, Tony Khan's not using him, and he's been wrestling on the indies and doing a lot of con appearances and making money doing that. He's making more money doing indies and con appearances than what he's doing in AEW right now. So good for him.
He's gone, Hausen. Angelo Parker.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Angelo Parker and Matt Menard are August 2025. Mariah May, she's in WWE already. Renee Paquette, fall 2025. It says has 2 contracts with AEW, one as a talent and one as a producer. Chris Jericho through December 2025. Interesting. Do you, in your opinion, do you see Chris Jericho coming back to WWE?
No.
You're very adamant like that. No.
Well, there's reasons behind that.
Well, I know. I just thought it was kind of funny. You just went no.
No. Well, I mean, if they're doing a youth movement, what purpose does Chris Jericho have with the current vision of WWE?
I don't know.
Maybe a Legends deal, maybe a pop-up time, but as a active in-ring performer, no.
No. Yeah, agreed. It's one of those things of like it said December 2025 he could like make a Royal Rumble appearance. That's why I brought it up.
I mean, do you want to see the learning tree in WWE?
No.
Because I don't.
I don't want to see a tree in WWE, so I'm good. Alex Reynolds and Evil Uno. John Silver and Kip Sabian, mid 2026.
Okay.
Scorpio Sky, October 2026.
Where the fuck?
I haven't.
Let him go. You're clearly you don't want to use him. Just let him go.
Oh man. Kyle O'Reilly, December 2027. Adam Cole, it just says until 2027. FTR, at least until April 2027. Okada, March 2027. Hangman Adam Page, at least through 2027. John Moxley, 2027. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, 2027. Swerve Strickland, 2028. And Shelton Benjamin, 2028. So, those are the AEW contracts, or at least a portion of them. TNA, Eric Young working without a contract. Killer Kelly, August 2025. Matt and Jeff, November 2025, the Hardys. Joe Hendry, late 2025, he's WWE bound. AJ Francis, the end of the year, 2025. Zaya Brookside, 2026. Moose, 2028 of June. Moose told Fightful's In the Weeds podcast that he had a 5-year contract. He announced he re-signed with the company in June of 2023. NWA, Kerry Morton, July 1st, 2025. AAA, Sam Adonis, working without a contract. Hijo D. Wagner, Jr., February 2026. CMLL, Soberano Jr., until 2026. NJPW, Takeshita, January 2026. MLW.
Takeshida's not signed with New Japan.
Konosuke Takeshita. I'm sorry. Maybe it was the wrong person.
Konosuke Takeshita from AEW. I don't know why he's under the New Japan thing there. So that maybe his AEW contract, perhaps.
Maybe. MLW, Akira, end of 2026. And lastly, AJPW, Davey Boy Smith. So Harry Smith. August 2025. So those are the contracts. And I was going to do this day in wrestling history, but, at this point, I'll just do birthdays. Let's see. It is Riho's birthday, 1997. John Silver is 35. Jazzy Gabbert.
Oh, Riho's 28.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 97. Yeah, 28. Yeah.
Okay. Jazzy Gabbert is 43 years old. Mikey Whipwreck.
Jazzy, who the fuck is Jazzy Gabbert?
I don't know. I thought that was a name you would know.
Who the hell is that?
Isn't that the big German chick?
I don't remember her, but yeah. Go and continue. I'm sorry.
Mikey Whipwreck is his birthday.
Mikey.
Joe Malenko. I'm assuming that's a relation to D. Malenko or Boris Malenko.
Yep.
Okay. And lastly, Gorilla Monsoon. So that will...
Gorilla! Will you stop? Come on, do your job!
Nice. But that is the show, people. Yeah, that's about it. This weekend, as you all know, is Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide. Me and Jeff might be doing a Worlds Collide post show. Might. I'll need to talk it over with him, but yeah, that is the show tonight, people. Thank you to everyone that was listening. Of course, thank you to Justin for making the show work the way it always does. So thank you, sir.
Well, absolutely.
And go ahead and plug yourself, man.
Yeah, Spine Buster Tees, SpineBusterTees.com. Check out the website, get yourself a t-shirt, get it sent to you. And would appreciate that. I'm at Spine Buster Tees on Instagram. You can see what I got going on inside my shop at SpineBusterTees at Wonderland of the Americas, where you can get yourself T-shirts, Funko Pops, action figures, a little bit of everything for pro wrestling fans' needs. I got some exciting things come up in the next couple of weeks from here. Well, actually, my birthday is in a couple weeks too. Jesus Christ! It's on the 18th, which is on a Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays from now. So I guess I'll be here doing the podcast. So on my birthday.
If you want to take your birthday off, you can.
No, I'm not doing anything on my birthday. It's on a Wednesday. I gotta work the next day. So
are you sure?
Yeah. What am I gonna do on a Wednesday?
I mean, I don't know. Have cake. Go. I don't know. Again, if you want,
I can have cake after this. I can have cake. I want to be here. I want to be here.
Okay.
So.
I'm just saying, man. Just trying to be
I want to be
gracious.
here. I want to
be. Trying to be gracious.
Be a good idea. For I won't say a birthday present, but you know what? I think this would be a good idea. I'm gonna say it right now. For my birthday, how about I host the show?
Okay.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That's fine with me. It's your birthday.
For one day, just one day. It'll be Justin's birthday bash or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Beach Bash '94.
Yeah. Oh, what was that you cut out? I'm sorry.
I was saying Beach Bash '94.
Sure. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure that out though. But anyway, SpineBusterTees on Instagram. You can follow me on SpineBusterTees on Instagram. SpineBusterTees as Wonderland of the Americas, and SpineBusterTees.com. You get a great shirt. Play like the ZCW Hardcore Event shirt.
Nice. And you guys know where to find me: X, Twitter, DY Experience, the YouTube channel, which last week I've been starting to post more stories, and they begin some traction. So stories.
On YouTube?
Yeah, I told you about it.
Oh, I didn't know on YouTube. I thought you just said it was on Instagram and Twitter. But that's cool though. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, I posted on YouTube, and then I put the videos on TikTok and Instagram.
Like the shorts.
Yeah, the shorts. That's what I call them.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
And those shorts are important because they're like teaser trailers. They entice you to want to watch the movie. In our case, the show. So. And then the podcast, the audio portion is out anywhere podcasts are distributed, like Spreaker, like iTunes, like Spotify. And just shout out to all of our friends that support us and love us and are there in our corner as usual. Mm-hmm. And shout out to all of our friends. And what's today? Today's the
4th.
Hold on.
Wasn't Kevin Castle's birthday?
I was gonna point that, and I just kind of had a brain fart. Kevin Castle's birthday was the other day.
Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Something.
Well, that's why I was trying to pull up the actual date because I don't want to sound like a bad friend. But yeah, it was the other day. And let me just make sure I have the right date. Yeah, it was yesterday actually. So his birthday was yesterday. John Draper, the brother of Kevin Castle, posted in honor of Kevin, make sure you feed a stray cat. Kevin was big into Kevin was big into taking care of the stray cats, around his house. When he passed, I know he did have a cat living with him, and luckily his family did pick up the cat. So the cat, as far as I know, did have a home to go to. But yeah, man, happy birthday to Kevin. Our friend, we miss you down here. Um,
Doesn't feel real still, man. You know.
it doesn't. No, just I can't even wrap my head around the fact that Kevin is no longer here. There was some cunt online that commented on my post. I just blocked him. I didn't even give him any attention, but just said something stupid
On
about Kevin.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Twitter's a fucking hellhole, so
Which
you can't take those fucking people seriously anyway on Twitter.
I don't. And again, it was some idiot that had like 80 followers and had a picture of his favorite cartoon character, which I'm like, you know what? Not giving you the time of day. So fuck off. And I blocked him. But yeah, just again, Kevin, we all miss you. And wherever you're at, we hope you're complaining just like you were when you were alive. But we do love you, Kevin. We miss you down here, big guy. But with that being said, I'm going to stop getting all mushy. And I'm just going to call it a night. And we'll see you this weekend. So take care, people, and peace out.
Peace.